Hi, I'm Yashwant. Welcome back to the Interview Mantra playlist. Today we have five professionals with us. They are young professionals who entered into a software world a few years back, and with the expertise that they have, so they are able to solve all your myths that one have towards software development and an IT job. So today this is not a kind of interview or a general video. It was like a roundtable conference. You can assume it as a roundtable conference. So once after getting an IT job, so whether you or the society claims that once you get an IT job, your life is set. So you will face these kind of myths regularly throughout your final year or throughout your phase where you attend placements and all those things. So, but there are few things that one must be able to, I mean, have perfection in their mind. So, in order to directly jump into an IT job. So, this is where you will get that exposure now. So there are five professionals with us: Sagar, Harika, Srikant, Priya, Pravalika, and Salim. So they are all product engineers working for a product-based company. So they have some exposure, they have some idea, they faced many interviews. So they are going to give some tips on what actually the realities are, and will they are myths really or their realities. So check out from them. So the concept here is like I will read out the myths, so they will clarify whether it is a myth or a reality. So let's start. So how are you all? How are you doing?
Hey, hi, we are good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Ashwant.
Yeah, hi bro. We are good.
Yeah, that's good to
Thank you
hear.
for having us here.
It's my pleasure. Okay, like we are ready to start now. So the first myth that many students have in their mind, so whether it might be CS student or a non-CS student, there is one myth. It was like you want to be a good software developer, you must be from a computer science background. So is it a myth or a reality?
Well, it's definitely a myth because there are many people working with us who are not from CS background. And yeah,
So do you think like it was just a myth? It was not a reality. Okay, did
no,
anyone
it's
have
a
more
myth.
points on this?
Yeah, of course. Of course, there is majority of the engineers are from computer science, but there are also engineers who are from other departments and working in the most reputed companies, holding different positions, basically into coding also. Even my team, not all are from computer science. Most of them from electrical engineering,
Okay.
and I see they do perfect coding, and
Okay.
they also held some good positions. So definitely it is not needed that computer science should be there in order to get into software industry.
Okay. It was nice. Any more points to add?
Yeah, like generally we have a thinking like when we are students, so when we are doing graduation, so we think like only CS and IT students can crack the software jobs, but it is a myth because there we need skills like analytical skills, problem solving skills, all those. So whoever possess, they are in the corporate offices.
Okay, that's great.
Like,
So I would like to add a point here. So basically, we all know that the corporates, when they come to college to hire us in the campus interviews, they not only go for CSC, but also they interview all the branches, right? So there is a simple answer lies in that step only. So it is definitely a myth
like
to
wait,
that point.
I want to add a point. Compared to CS and non-CS, so there is one difference. Like CS background students are able to learn all the technical when compared to non-CS. So that's why there is much more importance in the market for CS and IT students. Whereas when come to in the, I mean, professionally, so all are equal. Like as I said, the skills are important, like coding or all analytical skills, all this.
Okay.
Yeah, so initially it may be a bit difficult for others, compared to the CSC students. But once they are in the corporate, I mean, they are working professionally, and it will be all the same for
Okay.
all of us. Yeah.
Okay. These are some great insights. So from this, like we can conclude that the statement like you must be from a CS background in order to become a good software developer is a myth. So you can note it down. Like there are many points that we obtain from this conversation. So we don't just need coding. We need some analytical thinking. We need some we need some interest on learning coding. So if you are the person with such mindset, it is easy for you to go and get into a coding job. So it was not like you just need to be a CS degree holder in order to get a good IT job. Yeah, that was great. So we will go into the second myth now. So second myth is like software development is all about coding. So once we get a coding job, once we are into the IT industry, so people from at the high level view, like if they are in a college, if college students may assume that because they are not much exposed to the real time environment, so they might be in a conclusion that if we are good in coding, it was like this entire software development is done. So it is a myth that floats around many of the people. So can anyone take this over?
Yeah, so I definitely would say that it is a myth, because once we work as a professional, we come to know all these things. Like once we done with our code, there will be a code review, and then we need to do testing to ourselves. Nowadays there are no testing teams, separately for that. So after coding, we need to do our testing, and there are a lot of things like deployments. All these things we don't get to learn before coming to corporate world. All these things, once we join our teams, then only we'll get to know these things. Yeah,
It's a great point.
Yeah, since we are professionals, so we know how a product is going to develop. As of students, we think only coding requires, but there are different stages in the development of a product. Like as Dasagar said, development, testing. There are different types of stages till it gets to deploy and release in the client's environment. So it is actually a myth that for a software engineer, only coding skills are necessary. So he has to know entire the SDLC, which means software development lifecycle.
Okay, that was interesting. Any other points to add?
If a person wants to only work as a developer, for him, the coding skills are necessary. I think coding skills are enough to crack a job. But whereas when we enter into an office premises, then we are going to learn each and everything, because we do have some training sessions, everything. So there we can learn a lot.
Okay.
But whereas we are going to get only a bean seed of knowledge. That bean seed of knowledge, we have to use. We should know how to utilize and make it as a big tree. Big tree in the sense the entire process, how actually the products are developed and released in the market, and entire the B2B services. Yeah.
Okay, like from this, like we can conclude that this myth, like only software development is all about coding, is a myth again, because software development consists of many different phases. Starting from, as you all know, the SDLC lifecycle, as one of the guys said. So starting from requirements gathering to deployment, there are many other phases. So we need to interact with, if you are based in a good company, like good MNC kind of thing, you need to follow some methodologies like Agile. So where you need to strive all the dependencies of the company. So you need to be a good team player. You also need to be a good leader, where in cases you need to take the ownership, you need to take the leadership of the particular thing or particular incident that has happened. So apart from coding, you also need many interpersonal skills in order to succeed in your career. So this is just a myth again. So I will go on with the next myth. So the company which pays you high, so it means like the company with good CTC ultimately has good work and ultimately has good career to grow. So it means like we need to decide companies based on the CTC that they offer. It is one myth. Can anyone take on?
Yes.
Well, yeah, so CTC doesn't matter at all. It depends, it completely depends on you, how much you learn and how much you grasp from them.
Okay.
So CTC doesn't really matter.
Okay.
If you learn something from your new company or you're starting fresh, you have to learn more, and the more you start learning, the more you earn CTC slowly. So no need to worry about CTC.
Yes, to add with Priya's point, we can see like most of the startups, they do not offer much CTC because their funds will be low and all. Considering everything, what all they need is the talented people who are willing to contribute enough for the development. They may not offer much CTC, but obviously, what the takeaways are so high from startups. So once we get lots of knowledge, means the all the phases of the development of a product, right from its inception to deployment, obviously a person can learn a lot. So once if you do not consider CTC for some period of time, definitely you will be getting some good opportunities in the future. That is for sure. So CTC may be the criteria, but not at all. If you want to learn, we may have to sacrifice CTC.
Yeah, that's true.
And also, I would like to add a point here. It is not only the CTC that we should focus on, but the workplace environment is also one thing we should consider about, because it is very important that you should not be stressed out on the work you take every sprint or like that. So that is also we should consider.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really very important that the environment where we are, so it should be very unsuitable to us, like for the work, I mean, in working phase or whatever might be. Yes, that's like I said. So CTC, see, for a fresher, the minimum CTC will be like a minimum, it will be 30%. So as of uh, we are going on like experienced candidates, then we can have our authority or the interviewer like can expect some 70% or 80% based on experience. So the more experience we get, the more CTC we can expect. But as a fresher, um, we can't expect CTC. So, and even I think we don't require any CTC because firstly we need to have some knowledge regarding everything, like how the products are built and everything. So when we have skill in our hands, then obviously CTC and everything will become
Okay.
on our way back. That I believe actually.
These are some good collection of points. So of course we need CTC to work for any company. That's true. But CTC is not only the factor to be considered when joining with the company. So also please consider some startups who are doing some great, great innovations. So they are just starting. If you work with them, like you will get more exposure and you will get to know all the things that how a company works, starting from how a company works to, you don't know, like if you do well, like you would be a leader in the future of that particular company if that goes well. So also consider startups. So first thing you need to note down is if it has more exposure, like if it provides you the more work, more exposure and everything with balance again. So more work in the sense, it is not like you need to work 18 hours per day again. So more work in the sense, the exposure that you will get. Also think about these factors. But of course, yes, CTC is also an important thing from all the statements that these guys were provided now. So we can also note that CTC is not only the factor to consider. We need to consider the workplace. We need to consider the work that we are doing and all those things. So it was just a myth that selecting companies by just selecting the CTC or just choosing the CTC. That's good. So we will go with another myth now. So having knowledge on multiple programming languages help you to crack any interview and help you to work with any company. So is it a myth or a reality?
To be frank, it's a myth because you do know many languages, but if you don't know how to speak, then it's a waste of knowing the languages. The similar way in the coding part. See, languages we are learning only for the efficiency purpose, right? So we can firstly we learn C language. So is it necessary that we only know C language? No, because there are many languages, and the use of those languages, like for the efficiency purpose, the product what we build, actually it should give some statistics that are required by the client. So for those, the languages are came, and knowing those languages is very good. But whereas um, I mean, the number of languages the more you are like a knowledgeable person. If you consider like that, then it's totally myth. If you don't know coding, being knowing more than 10 languages, then there's no use. So firstly, I give suggestion to the freshers like more concentrate on coding skills.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd
Okay,
like to
so
add a point here. So yeah, he was saying that we need. It is good to have to learn different languages. It is good to be adaptive, but at the same time, than the language skills, we should more focus on the problem solving skills. So if you know the root cause of a problem, then you can choose any language to solve a particular problem. So I think in my view, we should focus on the problem rather than the how we are solving the problem.
Yeah, bro. I mean,
yeah.
as you said, it is very important to focus on the problem solving. But whereas as we go on, so the candidate must be know the efficiency also, because the more number of lines of codes we
Yeah,
read, the more.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with your point.
Yeah.
It is also important. That is what I'm saying.
And yeah, that should be
Yeah.
possible by having good knowledge on problem solving actually. So if
Problem
person is
solving,
well versed with data structures and algorithms, of course efficiency will come automatically. So, and I think Priya has a point.
No, I was just supporting Dayas. I was saying that yes, if a person is logically correct, then he can choose any language whichever he wants. So mostly he should concentrate on the logic rather than the language. So
Okay.
that will definitely help him or her.
Yes, true. Any other point to add? Okay. Then like we can conclude this again, like it was just a myth. It was not a reality, because having knowledge of multiple programming languages is okay. But I mean, when can you say that you are good in a particular programming language? Like if you are a good problem solver and if you are able to solve any complex problem using the knowledge that you have using a programming language, then you can say you are good in a programming language. It doesn't mean like if you just know the theory of a particular programming language by practicing with and playing with some syntaxes, and you can claim yourself that you are a good programmer in a particular language. It was not a good thing, because problem solving skills are mandatory nowadays. Because whatever you take, whatever the startup you take, whatever the product company or service company you take, the main purpose behind working on any project is like, it was just like solving a problem. So if you are working on a project, that project itself is a problem and you are trying to give a software solution to that. So, and you are just using this, it was like a carrier. Programming language was just like a carrier. So it just carries your thoughts and fix it into the software solution that you build. So don't just rely on programming languages, also do focus on data structures, algorithms, and that problem solving ability. So yeah, we got some great points. And again, we are concluding that like it was just a myth. So we'll go with the next myth. Having technical skills is enough to sustain in your software job. So you can also reverse this statement and say something like, we don't need any other skills apart from coding skills in order to sustain and in order to have a good career in software industry.
Let me tell you this,
Yeah.
not only technical skills, I feel communicational skills are very, very important to sustain in a software, because that really plays a very key role in your day-to-day problems. Because I have faced it as a fresher, I was very nervous to ask questions or to go and ask anything. But later on, when I started communicating well, I was able to convey my thoughts to them. And yeah, I was able to even tell technical stuff in a very good way.
Okay.
Yeah, also to say the most of the companies they do take 3 to 4 rounds of face-to-face rounds. That is very important for one person. Means why they are taking these 3 to 4 rounds of face-to-face rounds. They're not testing the technical knowledge actually. As the freshers, they cannot expect all the things to be known from the candidate. So they will be taking this face-to-face rounds, like sometimes they'll be putting the candidate under pressure in order to check his stress levels, how he's managing, how he's working under pressure. And also apart from the technical skills, they will check all the things, like if you're unable to say and if you're unable to answer any question, you must be able to freely say that I don't know this question. So they are checking your confidence levels. So all these face-to-face rounds are really meant in order to test a person fully. Apart from the technical things, they'll be coming to know about the candidate in each and every aspect. So if you're unable to solve any technical things, sometimes the interviews will give so many hints also in order to get the answers. So they will be tracking in that way also. So they'll be assessing the candidate in multiple ways. So getting only being good at only a technical skills is not good. We must be able to represent each and everything also. Even that thing also plays very important. As Priya said, communication skills and interpersonal skills are also very important.
Yep, that's true.
To add to that point, apart from technical skills, when you are working with a team, there are certain things we learn. Like, you should be disciplined. Like, we need to respect others' times, and we should be a good team player. So if there is a task and you know how to do it and you're on your own, then if you are like, I'll do it on my own, then it doesn't work that way. We should discuss those things with our teams and we should plan accordingly. So all these things are required when you're working with a team. Not only your technical skills, but you should be adaptive and you should be responsive to the team as well. Yeah. So it is definitely a myth.
Okay. Yep. So we can also say that, like, I mean, in my personal opinion, apart from technical skills, you also need interpersonal skills, like how you can interact with others. So I saw many people with more than 10 years of experience, so are still sustaining without enough technical skills. But the reason is that they are good in interacting with others. They have good interpersonal skills. Then I saw people with nearly 10 years of experience. I mean, just lost job due to layoffs. Even with good technical skills, they are not a person who interacts with the people quite often. So the later works sometimes, but the first one will not work anytime. So these are must, because even though you are skilled enough to write any project, to write any software, but you're kind of person who fails to express each and every opportunity that you get, then it will not going to help you anymore. So of course you need technical skills, because you are working for a software company, so they won't entertain you without having much skills on technology side or programming side. But similarly, you need interpersonal skills for your career, for your individual career. So if you're a good person with technical skills, then company will get benefited because of you. But if you are also a person with good interpersonal skills, you will get benefited with the help of your company. So understand the difference. And yes, we get some accurate points from these persons. That was a good thing. So we'll go with another myth now. So there is also a one myth, like even placement officers or our faculty or our parents will tell you, if you get a good job from a top MNC, your life will get set. Your career is almost set. So it was a myth. So is it true that if we just get a good job from a top MNC, our career will get set?
Yeah, it is definitely a myth, because once I got this job and once I was in my team, when I was placed in my team, so all the technologies that were used by my team were completely different, alien to me. So I was good at Java and Python, but they were not using them at all. So they placed me into UI. So I had to learn Angular and React for that particularly. So I think in corporate you can only survive with continuous learning. I feel that is my opinion.
Well, I partially agree with Sagar because I know as if we enter a very good MNC, we will be exposed. I mean, we will get many chances to learn new languages or new things. But it again completely depends on you how you take it. Like if you want to really learn, you can learn it from wherever you are or in whichever company you are. Even though if I'm in a very good MNC and I'm exposed to many other languages, it depends on me. If I want to learn, I'll learn, or else no. But yeah, getting a job in MNC will definitely give you chances, many chances to learn new languages or new things.
Okay, good point.
Yeah, I agree with Priya. Like, it does not depend upon which company you're working for, but it all depends upon how much efforts you are putting in order to improve yourself. There is one such thing our MD will be continuously saying, like, every next level of your life requires a better version of you. So there must be continuous improvement for a candidate. So it is not like I'm in MNC and I'm sorted. Even MNCs, they do lay off the so many thousands of people, as we are seeing, if they are not meeting up the standards. So we should not be settle back like we are in a MNC and it is okay, my life is sorted. That is not the thing. Even now I see many people, they do come from MNCs to smaller companies in order to better develop their knowledge and all. So it's not the only criteria. MNC is not the only criteria.
Okay. Great points. And any other points to add?
Yeah, bro. May I get the question once again?
So it was like, once we get a job into an IT, I mean, top MNC, like our life will be set. So it is a myth.
Yeah,
So yeah.
here the query what you post. So if you get a job in the MNC, MNC is like, I mean, even though MNC is also once upon a time it's a startup, so it has to be start from the single step only, right? So then later on it has become like an MNC. So there are different teams, so different departments, so where freshers are hired and uh, put on those teams. But in a startup company, so we don't have such facility. So we should able to handle all every phases of software life cycle. So that's why there's a big comparison between MNC and startup. Like we'll get to learn more in startup when compared to MNC, because in MNC we're going to put on a team where we are going to work in only a single phase of software development. And yeah, it's a myth that when we settle in a MNC company, the life will be chill. It is not. It all depends on the team, the management, everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So like by this we can conclude that so it was just a myth, because there is no such thing called your life will be set or your career will be set. It all depends on, like as they said, like continuous improvement. They used some beautiful keywords. We can take something from that. Continuous improvement is a necessary thing nowadays, because we need to keep changing ourselves day by day. And if we didn't find the much difference from yesterday to today, it means like we are not actually learning anything. So we need to focus on that aspect first. So then we can say that like we are going in a good direction. So, and there is no point in telling that your life will be set, your career will be set. That is just a myth. So it all depends on individual again. So how much efforts that you put in order to investing in necessary things, like instead of investing on unnecessary things. So I mean, investing in the sense not about money I'm talking here, like I'm just talking about time and the resources. So yeah, but again we can say that it was just a myth. So, and the last thing for today's discussion is one myth. If you get into an IT company, so there is no such thing called learning that comes into the picture. So many will assume that like we need to work hard until we get a good job. So if we get a job, we can stop this learning process and we can only work for 9 to 5, and after that we can just go out and chill. That is the opinion that 80% of the engineers have. So even like maybe you people are getting this something like you are working for a software company, right? And your life will be a chill kind of thing. You don't need to work hard, so you're just enjoying your life. This is the thing that many people have. Can you clearly bust out this myth? Because I know this is a myth, because I was also working for that and also receiving the similar comments. Can all of you bust this final one?
Okay,
Bro, who
so
said that
first
we are?
thing,
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
on,
Go
Salman.
on. Go on. Go on.
No,
Go
go
on.
on. Okay, so first thing, whoever said this, they are completely wrong. Um, and you know, right, technology is changing day by day, and it is changing in a very fast pace. You cannot stick to one thing and say that yes, I've learned everything completely and I'm very good and I can and I'm good with this. So you need to learn continuously. Like I have joined as a fresher, I don't know anything. Like I know Java, C, and other languages, but when I joined, I had to learn something which I haven't even heard of. Then now again after 6 months, the technology stack changed and I'm learning something else now. So yeah, it's a continuous learning, as they said earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, Salman.
Yeah, who said that once we settle everything is fine, but the learning is I mean it should be happen, it should continue, because we are seeing we are living in the world where technology is being developing day by day, so many new softwares and new products are coming outside in the market. So uh, all this considering, I mean we can say that we need to I mean learn, I mean the learning phase, it should not be halt. Instead, it should be continuous improvement. So we need to learn day by day. I mean, by catching new things like, let's say an example like this machine learning and AI. So all these are there in 19th, but these came in the 20th century with a tremendous development, right? So everyone is, I mean, they are learning all this research-oriented languages and everything. So why? Because it's a what to say. So what I mean, the importance of these are I mean very huge in the market. So whatever the thing that is giving us a good handsome of money, so we have to learn those.
Okay. Like you are telling, like we need to keep updating ourselves day by day according to the trend,
Yeah,
right?
we need to keep update. Yeah, because we are seeing in the market like new things are coming. Even Tesla has introduced the automobile industry, right? So he once started PayPal, X.com, but even he came into automobile industry, and then even the space industry. Why? Because it's all money worth. He wanted to serve to the society. The main thing is we need to serve to the society with something or whatever the knowledge we have. Later on, money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any more points?
I would like to add only one thing. I would say just, learning is inevitable for whoever it is, even freshers or experienced candidates, for all of us, not only in IT field, wherever we work or wherever we do anything, learning should be inevitable and it will be. Yeah.
That's true point.
Yes, even the managers or any functional heads, that those people who come newly to our organization, they do learn about the organization, what all the tech stack we are using, and if anything is old or if anything is new, they do come understand about all those things. See, even the senior people, they're expected to learn all those things. So learning curve should never be stopped. My previous manager, she used to say like for every 6 months your resume should get updated with at least one new skill. And in the current company which I'm working, if even if we are not interested, our managers will force us to learn something new each and every time and do POCs and all. More than the sprint work, I'll be busy with all this learning work, because that is good, right?
Yes.
Learning will never stop after coming into a corporate thing. Instead, it increases so much than we do in our college days.
Yep. Yep. These were some great points. So you can take an example of a rock. So if you're not learning anything, you are just a rock. So it means that you cannot move. So you always should act like a water, which should always flow. So if you stop learning, even though you consider 1 to 10 ranks in your classroom or something, so if you want to be in a number one, you should always try to be at number one. Like if you just relax that stating that you are a number one, you will come down to 10. So it is what we need to understand from this conversation. So learning should never stop. So whatever the matter is, whatever the position you are in. So thank you everyone, guys, because I hope this was a great session. It was a great discussion because we have busted nearly 7 myths. So that really helps people who are new to the industry and who are yet to join the industry. So because with these myths, if people go and enter into the software industry in the beginning, they might face many troubles because they feel that if we get an IT job, like we can enjoy, we don't need to spend on learning everything. With these assumptions, if they enter into the field and they keep learning every day, so it will not be comfortable for them to get past the days. So I hope this session is really helpful for many of the students who are watching this video, and also many of the people who are going to watch in the next year also. So whatever it is. So thank you everyone for joining with me and helping nearly thousands of students to get awareness of how the IT world will look like. So once again, thank you very much, and thank you for all the people who are watching this video. If you really like this video, please like and share this video to someone who are just entering into the IT world. It really helps a lot of people. So also, if you really like this playlist, you can also share this interview mantra playlist. There are many interviews that has covered various aspects about interview preparation and life in corporate companies. So again, thank you for watching this video.